सुप्रभात। आज का कार्यक्रम औपचारिक रूप से प्रारंभ होने जा रहा है। हमारे बीच हमारी माननीय कुलाधिपति राज्य विश्वविद्यालय एवं राज्यपाल उत्तर प्रदेश कुछ ही क्षणों में पधारने वाली हैं। उनके आने से पूर्व हम इस कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत कर रहे हैं। मैं सर्वप्रथम सभागार में पधारे विशिष्ट वक्तागण, माननीय कुलपतिगण, समस्त विश्वविद्यालयों से आए कुल सचिव, परीक्षा नियंत्रक, वित्त अधिकारी, शिक्षकगण व अधिकारी गण, आप सबका इस अटल सभागार में वंदन व अभिनंदन करती हूँ। संगच्छध्वं संवद्वं संवो मनासि जानताम देवो भागम यथा पूर्वे संजनाना उपासने। अर्थात सभी लोग एकजुट होकर चलें, एक साथ विचार करें और अपने मन को समान उद्देश्य की ओर केंद्रित करें। जैसे देवता मिलजुल कर अपने कार्य को संपन्न करते हैं, वैसे ही हम सब मिलकर अपने कार्यों को सफल बनाएं। यह श्लोक रैंकिंग उन्नयन 2025 कार्यक्रम के लिए अत्यंत उपयुक्त है, जहां प्रदेश भर से माननीय कुलपतिगण, कुल सचिव और रैंकिंग समूह एक साझा उद्देश्य के साथ एकत्र हुए हैं। यह एकता, सामूहिक प्रयास और समान दृष्टिकोण की महत्ता को दर्शाता है, जो इस कार्यक्रम का आधार है। यह श्लोक प्रेरित करता है कि यदि सभी मिलकर एक समान लक्ष्य के लिए कार्य करेंगे तो सफलता अवश्य मिलेगी। यही वह महान सोच है जो श्रीमती आनंदीबेन पटेल, माननीय कुलाधिपति राज्य विश्वविद्यालय एवं राज्यपाल उत्तर प्रदेश, हम सबके साथ साझा करती हैं। उनकी प्रेरणा से आज इस कार्यशाला का आयोजन किया गया है, ताकि हम सभी मिलकर अपने अपने विश्वविद्यालयों को राष्ट्रीय व अंतर्राष्ट्रीय रैंकिंग में चरम शिखर तक पहुंचाने का मार्ग प्रशस्त करें। मैं डॉक्टर कौशिकी सिंह, सांस्कृतिक समन्वयक डॉक्टर शकुंतला मिश्रा, राष्ट्रीय पुनर्वास विश्वविद्यालय, सभी गणमान्य अतिथि गणों का इस प्रांगण स्थित अटल सभागार में रैंकिंग उन्नयन 2025 राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय रैंकिंग पर केंद्रित विश्व स्तरीय विश्वविद्यालयों के निर्माण पर एक दिवसीय कार्यशाला में पुनः वंदन करती हूँ। कार्यक्रम में विलंब न हो, इसलिए कार्यक्रम को आगे बढ़ाते हुए हम अपने प्रथम चरण की ओर बढ़ते हैं। हमारे आज के इस विशेष सत्र में वह शख्सियत उपस्थित हैं जिनका शिक्षा और गुणवत्ता सुनिश्चित करने के क्षेत्र में अतुलनीय योगदान है। डॉक्टर अनिल कुमार नासा, मेंबर सेक्रेटरी, नेशनल बोर्ड ऑफ एक्रेडिटेशन, NBA, New Delhi. Dr. Nasa has earned his bachelor degree in textile chemistry from the Technological Institute of Textile, Bhiwani, and both his masters in fiber science and technology and PhD in title Technical Education System, Accreditation Process and Improvement from IIT Delhi. Dr. Nasa has been instrumental in planning, formulating, and implementing various schemes to enhance technical education in India. He has also been associated with the approval and accreditation of technical institutions and programs at both regional and national level under the All India Council for Technical Education. श्रीमन, आपसे विनम्र अनुरोध करती हूँ कि आप मंच पर पधारें और स्ट्रैटेजीज फॉर इम्प्रूविंग नेशनल रैंकिंग विषय पर अपने बहुमूल्य विचार हम सब से साझा करें। डॉक्टर अनिल कुमार नासा जी।
पॉइंट करना है, इससे पॉइंटर आ जाएगा, इससे बैकवर्ड होगा। ऐसे फॉरवर्ड होगा सर. इंटरव्यू में चलेंगे नॉर्मल चलेंगे.
नहीं. Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, dear participants, the vice chancellors, deans, directors of various institutes, and already dignitaries, my co-speakers, Dr. Ashwin, Dr. Rashmi Sharma ji, Mobde sir, Jani sir, and most importantly our host Sanjay Singh ji. सबको मेरी नमस्ते, प्रणाम, good morning, and welcome to this workshop on ranking Unnayan 2025. We have been talking about improvement in quality of technical education and also of basically of higher education, which includes university, college, and technical education in the country. There are two aspects of looking at quality of a program or an university or an engineering college. The measurement is basically through accreditation or a ranking. The basic difference between accreditation and ranking is that accreditation gives you the absolute assessment of that particular institution or a program. We have two accrediting agencies in our country. One is NAC, that is National Assessment and Accreditation Council, which accreditates an institution, a college, or a university as a whole. And the second accrediting agency is National Board of Accreditation, which accreditates programs, particularly in technical education, which includes engineering, management, pharmacy, at various levels. That is at undergraduate level in engineering, postgraduate in management, diploma in engineering, diploma in pharmacy, bachelor of pharmacy, and masters in pharmacy. And recently NBA has also started accrediting architecture institutions at the undergraduate level, and will slowly move to the postgraduate level also in architecture education. Before I start ranking, I just want to take your 5 minutes to tell you something about the National Board of Accreditation also. As I told you, this is an institution, this is an organization that accreditates programs at various levels, for example, BE, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, or the postgraduate programs in cyber security or whatever. So this is the organization which is accrediting only at the program level. We do not accredit an institutions. If you find that XYZ College of Engineering is accredited by NBA, it is completely wrong. The BE Mechanical Engineering or Computer Science or Computer Engineering is accredited by NBA. That is the correct statement. In the year, it is basically established under AICTE Act. It was established in 1994 and was a part of AICTE till 2010. We were trying to become a member of the Washington Accord since 2001, and we became provisional member of in 2007. It is basic Washington Accord is basically an agreement of the member countries that their bachelor degree will be treated at par, substantially equivalent to those of the bachelor degree of the respective accrediting agency's jurisdiction program. For example, if a program of NBA is accredited by NBA in any of the institutions, for example, NIT, the BE Mechanical Engineering of NIT Allahabad is accredited by NBA, then this accreditation is valid and their degree will be treated substantially equivalent in other parts of the world where they have also become the member of the Washington Accord. And most of the developed countries are part of the Washington Accord, for example, US, UK, Australia, New Zealand, China, Japan, South Korea, Singapore. And their degree, and if an institution or if an organization of that country accredits a program, it will be treated at par with the other countries. So it is in the respective jurisdiction of the country. If that program is accredited by the respective accrediting agency, then only it is treated at par. So in 2007, we became provisional member, and there were two mentors appointed by the Washington Accord Secretariat, that is International Engineering Alliance. This is the secretariat which deals with various accords. One of them is Washington Accord, the other is Dublin Accord. So those mentors suggested that the accrediting agency and the regulator, you have to be a separate identity, create a separate identity for accreditation. That is why the NBA was born in 2010, based on the advice of the mentors. And the second advice they gave is that we have a huge technical education system and higher education system. There's nothing available in other parts of the world. That is, we have on the one hand IITs, NITs, universities, state universities, deemed universities, state private universities, affiliated, autonomous, non-autonomous. And there are various kinds of institutions in our country which is not available in other parts of the world. So they decided that we will divide this type of institutions into two categories. One will be autonomous and another will be non-autonomous. So autonomous institutions will be those who have full control on their syllabus, curriculum, and the examination system. Whenever they feel that there's a change in requirement in the curriculum, they have the power to change themselves. On the other hand, the affiliated institutions, that is non-autonomous institutions, they deliver the content as has been prescribed with their affiliating universities and do not have a control on the examination system. Examination is also taken by the university consent. So our system was divided into two parts. One is Tier 1, that is autonomous institutions, and another was Tier 2, that is non-autonomous institutions. And for the one, that is autonomous institution was considered. So now, at present, in 2014, they approved that NBA India will be the signatory members of the Washington Accord, and that decision was taken unanimously. And they gave it for 6 years. Like your institutions get accreditation of its periodic cycle, they also give the signatory status in a cycle. That was for 6 years. So 2020 again they came here, and again unanimously they have given extension for another 6 years, that is up to 2026. And 26 again they will be coming, and we also have to report to them about our processes, our criteria and all that. And we have to maintain that international benchmark which they assess, and this is assessed by a review committee which is constituted by the Secretariat of the International Engineering Alliance. Usually it is a 3-member committee and all from 3 different countries. So we are also being assessed by an international organization. So we have a credibility to the world that NBA is following all those international standards as far as accreditation is concerned. And recently they have, as per the international standards, they have changed that graduate attributes also in 21, and they will be implementing from 26 onwards, so that they can prepare the world based on the graduate attributes and the professional competencies. GAPC version 4, and we had already revised our self-assessment reports and graduate attributes and professional competencies as per the international standards, and the new self-assessment report for Tier 1 institutions as well as for Tier 2 institutions also. We have made it operational from 1st January 2025 itself. So we are well ahead of 1.5 years, and we are conducting national, at the regional level, the state level workshops in various institutions with state governments and the state technical universities, and conducting programs to make them aware about GAPC version 4. So this is all about accreditation in NBA, and we are also trying in Washington Accord, the Tier 2 institutions which are affiliated to universities, that they should also be considered as substantially equivalent. And we have pitched in our last accord, and I am happy to inform you that those International Engineering Alliance meeting was held in India last year, 2020, and it was for 7 consecutive days. We conducted it very successfully there, and it was well appreciated by all signatory countries there. So there also we had pitched in the Tier 2 institution should also be considered equivalent to, substantially equivalent to the degrees awarded by the 25 nations which are signatory to Washington Accord. Coming back to the second criteria of assessment, that is National Institutional Ranking Framework, that is ranking. And this is basically not a absolute assessment of an institution. This is a comparative assessment institutions in a given stream. And we have now at least 16 streams where we do ranking. And the brief of that is that streams, and it was launched in the year 2015 by the Honorable Minister at the time, Srimati Smriti Irani ji. And the first framework, they contained around roughly about 18 to 20 sub-parameters in 5 generic parameters, namely teaching, learning, and resources, research and professional practice, graduation outcome, outreach and inclusivity, and the 5th one was perception. Several of them are similar to those employed globally as excellence in teaching, learning, and research. However, there are few which are India-centric, reflecting aspirations of the rising number of young people of a vast nation. Next. So these were the 5 parameters, and the first ranking, as I told you, it was announced in 2016 for universities, engineering, management, and pharmacy. So there were the 4 different categories in which the ranking was given. And in 2017, overall ranking and ranking of general degree colleges were introduced, making it a total of 6. And in 2018, 3 new categories, namely law, medicine, and architecture, were introduced, bringing the total tally to 9. And in 19, these 9 categories were, there was no addition in 2019. 21 new category of dental was introduced, making it total 10. And in 21, research institutions, that ranking of research institutions was also introduced, making the tally to 11. And in 22, there was no change in 11 categories. 23, there were 2 new categories, that is agriculture and allied sectors, and innovation. Innovation was earlier being handled by AICT as ARIA ranking, but it was introduced in 23 as per NIRF, making the total tally to 13. And in 2024, 3 new categories were introduced, that is state public universities, open universities, and skill universities. So there were totally 16 categories, those were ranked. The institutions were ranked in these 16 categories. And in 2025 ranking, 1 new category has been introduced, that is Sustainable Development Goals, that is SDGs. So this year it will be 17 categories which will be considered for ranking. And in 24, the ranking was released on 12th of August 2024 by our Honorable Minister of Education, Shri Dharmendra Pradhan ji, in these 16 categories. A total number of 6,516 unique institutions responded, and there were 10,845 applications for ranking, which was made by these 6,517 unique applications. The total number of applications were 10,845, and the number of unique institutions has risen to 7,800, and the total number of applications have increased to 14,100. So this is from 10,845 to 14,100. So there are 5 criteria. This is for ranking of various categories. These are teaching learning resources, that is of 100 marks, and this weightage is for overall category, that is 30% weightage. Research and professional practice, again 100 marks, 30% weightage. Graduation outcomes, that is 100 marks, 20% weightage. And outreach and inclusivity, 100 marks, sure, 10 marks, and then perception, 100 marks to 10% weightage. So this is the weightage given for overall category. The weightage depends on the various categories. For engineering it is different, for management it is different, and for colleges also it depends on the category where it is being considered. We'll stop here for 2-3 minutes. Honorable Madam, Governor Madam is about to reach, so after that we will restart again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. यह हमारे लिए बहुत गर्व का क्षण है कि हम सबके बीच आदरणीय श्रीमती आनंदीबेन पटेल, माननीय कुलाधिपति राज्य विश्वविद्यालय एवं राज्यपाल उत्तर प्रदेश, इस अटल सभागार में प्रवेश कर रही हैं। आप सभी से विनम्र अनुरोध है कि कृपया अपने स्थान पर खड़े होकर उनका भव्य अभिनंदन करें तथा सम्मान प्रकट करें। आप सभी पूर्वक अनुरोध है कि कृपया राष्ट्रगान के लिए अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं।
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा, भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
बहुत आदरपूर्वक आप सभी से निवेदन कृपया अपना स्थान ग्रहण कर लें। Dr. Anil Kumar Nasa, sir, please continue, sir. Thank you so much.
As far as इससे पहले कि मैं शुरू करूँ, मैं गवर्नर मैडम का स्वागत करूँगा। नमस्कार मैडम। तो यहाँ तक पहला फर्स्ट क्राइटेरिया जो दैट इज़ टीचिंग लर्निंग एंड रिसोर्सेज, दैट इज़ ऑफ 100 marks, in which we have 6 components. That is student strength including doctoral students, faculty student ratio with emphasis on permanent faculty, that is of 25 marks, combined marks for faculty with PhD or equivalent and experience, that is of 20 marks, financial resources and utilization, that is of 20 marks, online education 10 marks, combined metric for MIR, that is multiple entry exit Indian knowledge system, and regional languages, that is of 5 marks. These are in consonance with the new education policy. This has been added last year. As far as the student strength is concerned, we take undergraduate and postgraduate students separately and then rank them, give them the marks according to the strength of that institution or a university, and the PhD student or the doctoral students, that is given the separate marks. So the total marks are 20, 15 plus 5 for PhD. Faculty student ratio, that is of 25, and this for university category and for overall category this is 1:15, but for the state public universities it is 1:20, and it varies from college, it is 120 again, and engineering it is 115, and others management, pharmacy all 1:15. The combined metric for faculty with PhD and experience, the percentage of faculty with PhD qualification, that is given 10 marks, and experience also given 10 marks, total are 20 marks. Here we expect a good blend of young, middle and senior level professors, and with the ratio of 1:1:1. So 3 marks, 3 marks and 4 marks, that is 10 marks is given for experience. The next is the financial resources and their utilizations, where we take the capital expenditure and the recurring expenditure, that is operational expenditure, separately combined. And in capital expenditure, all those which have been incurred but basically for maintenance of the capital expenditure and the new equipment purchased during that 3 years. And similarly for operational expenditure, that is given for that is given in the ratio in 1:3 separately for the operational expenditure, and we calculate the expenditure per student, and based on that the marks are given. And in online education system, we see how many the students have registered, enrolled in SWAM portals, and how many courses have been developed by the various faculty for developing MOOCs. And the fifth, the F is combined metric for multiple entry exit. If you have the system, you have got the approval of the BOGs or the concerned regulatory body. And in the answer is to be given only in Indian knowledge system also and in the regional languages also. And based on that, we give the marks in the proportion of 1:2:2, that is 5 marks. So total 100 marks, and whatever you get 30% weightage of teaching, learning and resources. Then we have a second criteria, that is research and professional practice. That is combined metric for publications. We take the publication data from Web of Science and Scopus, and we take it directly from them and see the faculty, the paper per faculty, and we give due weightage to the papers published also. And there is some weighted index which we calculate, and based on that, the marks are given out of 30. Then we have quality of publications, which we see citations in the top 25 journals. And for that also, this is citations per faculty and top 25 citations per faculty. So this is also for 30 marks. IPR and patents, that is in 2 categories, that is published and granted. There is no marks given for filing the patents, 5 marks for publishing and 10 marks for granting. This is for 15 marks. Then we have footprints of projects and professional practice, that is of 15 marks. There we see the consultancy and the research project which we have received from various government agencies or the number of good industries. That is taken into consideration for 7.5 and 7.5 marks. So that is 15 marks. And then combined matrix for publication and citation in SDGs. This has been added last year, keeping with the importance given in SDGs on the Sustainable Development Goals. And this is 10 marks, and that this data also we take it directly from Web of Science and Scopus. Outreach and inclusivity, the percentage of students from other states, countries, that is for regional diversity, this is 30 marks. Percentage of women diversity, that is also for 30 marks. And economically and socially challenged students, 20 marks. And the facilities for physically challenged students, also 20 marks. So these 100 marks are given for inclusivity, where we see the students from other states, how many women students, women faculty members, and then the scholarship, full scholarship given to the EC and BC students, and the total tuition fee waivers. And then whether you have a facilities for physically challenged, that is also seen. So this is of 100 marks with 10% of weightage, and the perception is 100 marks. There is a lot of discussions going in the social media about the perception. I just want, perception is not given by NBA or NIRF. This is given by you people. We have a pool of more than 30,000 academics and peers, where we ask them to give their names of 10 universities whom they think they are worth it. And we are asking them to give them at the national level as well as in the regional level, so that at the regional level, which are lesser known institutions, they should not be deprived of those option ranking. Because if we ask them only 10 names, everybody will give the name of IITs, universities and all that. No junior colleges or engineering colleges, they will appear in the figure. So once we ask them in the region, they have to give the names of 10 institutions at that particular regional level. And this is the total number of the votes they get in that particular category. That is calculated and automatically given by the computers. There is no human intervention in this. So please make sure that whenever the perception mail comes from NIRF, it is your duty to give the names of 10 universities or 10 colleges or 10 institutions or 10 pharmacy institutions or or even management institutions. You are free to give it for overall university, research, colleges, and two streams, whichever you belong to or you would like to give a perception about that. So this is all about from academics and the employers, and we give them total marks based on number of votes an institution gets. NBA or NIRF has no say in any perception. The perception is given by you people to your fellow institutions, but you cannot give it to your own institution. So this is, I want to make it totally clear that perception is given by all of you, not by NBA or NIRF or any other body or Inflibnet or something. This is automatically calculated by computer. The moment you enter IIT Delhi or even Lucknow University or Kanpur University, it will automatically go to Kanpur University. One more vote will be added to that particular institution. So this is given by all academicians and employers. So kindly make sure that whenever these mails comes to you, you also participate fully in that and give to your fellow institutions also, so that they can also get good marks in the perception. This is the participation of various categories on subject domains, and as I told you, we started with 2,426 institutions unique. Last year it was 6,517, and this received it from around 7,800 unique institutions. So it's roughly about 200% increase now. And the total number of applications have increased to now 14,100 from 10,845 last year. And international ranking, and Ashwini is here, you can see that in the QS ranking and THE ranking, we have also seen an increase. In 2010, there were 8 institutions in the country. Now it is 46 institutions in the QS ranking in 2025. And in THE, there was only 1 institution in 12, and now it is 107 institutions in 2025. This is all I have for you in the ranking. If you have any questions to ask, please let me know. If no questions, with the permission of Madam, I would like to throw some highlights on Uttar Pradesh, if you kindly permit me.
Volunteers, please come forward with the mic.
If you want, I can raise my query after the statistics that you share.
Okay, let me.
Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you. We have a list of participating universities. In India ranking 23 and India ranking 24, there is a comparison. From Uttar Pradesh I'm talking about. The state universities which participated were 13 in 23, and in 24 it has risen to 21. And the central universities were 5 and in both the years. Deemed universities were 2 in 23 and 6 in 24. State private universities were 15 in 23 and 17 in 24. So there were total 35 participated in 23, which has risen to 49 in 2024. 25 data which yet to be collated, and we'll submit it later on. And the universities ranked in top 100 were 7 in 23, and in 24 it has risen to 9. And in top 200, from 101 to 204 in 23, which became 9 in 20 universities which have been ranked more than 23. Not ranked is same, that is 19, and the total eligible were 30 in 23 and 35 in 24. There are some universities which I will hand it over to the officials and the government, that they are not maintaining the student faculty ratio. I will not name those universities, I will give it to you personally so that you can see it a little later. So, and the average parameter score have also risen in almost all the parameters as far as the state of Uttar Pradesh is concerned. First criteria was teaching and resources. The average score of top 100 universities of the country was 60.8, and in Uttar Pradesh it was 45.28 in 23, which has risen to 52.28. There is an increase of 7 marks in the teaching learning process in the average score. Research has risen from 13.46 to 13.6, and at national level it is around 30. And graduate outcome, the national level was 73 and Uttar Pradesh was 60, which has risen to 62 now. And outreach and inclusivity from 50.47 to 53.62. So this has also increased. The national average was 60.89. And the publication was, the top 200 universities were 2242, that is 2,242 at the national level. And in Uttar Pradesh it was 966. And in 24 it has gone up to 1062. Third paper publications per faculty. Average number of the per faculty was 3.43 at the national level, and in Uttar Pradesh it was 1.22 in 23, which has risen to 1.41 now in 24. Citations have also increased significantly from 8,099, that is approximately 8,100, to 9,100. So there is a 1,000 approximately the number of increase, but the national average was around 18,000. Citation per faculty has also increased from 9.74 to 11.29. And the top 25 publications have almost 291 and 290. Patents published, top 100 universities was 80, and for the Uttar Pradesh it was 59.6 in 23, and now it is in 24 it has risen to 76. So it is a good increase and coming closer to the national average. And for the granted also, there were 13 at the top 100 universities level, and at the Uttar Pradesh level it was 8.3, and 24 it is now 8.4. This is also almost similar. And there is one important factor that plays a very important role in the ranking, that is the faculty. There is a faculty shortage of 5-6 universities which I have named here. I will give it to you personally once after this thing. And the faculty student ratio, which was 1:26 in 23, has come down to 23. So there is a good improvement in the faculty recruitment also. So these are some of the statistics which I wanted to present before the Honorable Governor Madam. So there were, last year we started state public university ranking also, and where we are almost similar to other states. These the statistics also I will hand it over to you, because there is no comparison. Next year, whenever the state public university will be ranked, then only we will be able to see how much improvement is there. This information I will give. This is what I wanted to present. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nasser Sahab, for for having come down to our state and apprising us of the development. At the outset, let me extend my gratitude on behalf of all the state universities to our Honorable Governor, who probably for the first time sensitized universities to take up accreditation and ranking business seriously. And there has been concerted effort by Honorable Raj Bhavan towards specific initiatives for extending our efforts towards ranking. And I must also bring it on record that in such a short span, NIRF has certainly become a benchmark. And once we figure in that, it not just bolsters our image in the outer market, in the student market, but also infuses enormous confidence among us. Having said this, there are certain issues that I, on behalf of University of Lucknow and also on behalf of many of these state universities, I have been flagging off in many of the interactions that we have had. I'm also thankful for the invitation that you had extended, your office had extended in the review meeting of NIRF parameters, and I'm also thankful on behalf of state universities, particularly from Uttar Pradesh. So I must extend my gratitude to you and your organization also for that. There are a few specific queries. One is that probably 6 or 7 state universities of Uttar Pradesh got 100 crore grant under PM Usha scheme. Now, one issue that we are confronted with as University of, we are financially staffed institution, right? One of the parameters that you were just showing us was how many investment into research and other activities. Now, this grant has been, we got authorization for the grant. The grant specifically did not come to our account. However, it is not even going to come to our account, even in due course. But we are going to have the facilities. संक्षेप में कि हमको 100 करोड़ की ग्रांट मिली, हमारे खाते में नहीं आई, हम उसके संसाधन लेंगे, उसका अकाउंट सीधे जो वेंडर है उसको चला जाएगा. Can we claim this amount to us?
Yeah, there are 2 issues involved in it. I am not aware because Madam is also here, so not aware which are the schemes, but this is very much clear. This has to be basically a research project.
Exactly.
Which has, if that condition applies, then we see what is the amount of the grant received in that year. You are saying is you are not receiving grant directly being reimbursed to the, but definitely you must be having that facilities available to you, and the cost will also be intimated to you. You can do that and give it to us. We will definitely consider that.
Thank you so much. Because, you know, officially the letter we received was in the last academic year, जिसका assessment अभी हो रहा है. Practically, we did not receive any.
But
And
this is if this is meant only for your institution,
no,
definitely
it is for all the state universities of India. Of
then
India.
It will not. It is, if it is considered for your university, then only it can be considered. If it is a general pool, then definitely it cannot be considered for that.
Okay. No, I mean, for example, 100 crore rupees has been earmarked for University of Lucknow. In the academic year, that was 24-25. We could not purchase because of all the procedural this thing. We purchased this year, in this academic year. However, the disbursement may even go to next academic year, 25-26.
So see, sir, we cannot differentiate between a private and a government university. You are clear that. We see that if the grant is, the money is received by you or the expenditure has been made by you in that year, then only we will be able to consider that. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult from private university's point of view. You understand it's not better to.
We'll surely take this up on a more personal level with all the documents. I'll show you and we'll see if
You can show us, definitely
Sure.
we will consider this.
Sure.
In a kind or in the amount, if it has been received for your institution, definitely that will be considered.
Okay. Thank you. Another thing that I have been flagging off, और वो मेरी विशेष वेदना है यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ लखनऊ के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, इसको अन्यान्य शब्दों में मैंने कई एक बार आपसे, आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से और कई अनेक फोरम्स पे इसको रेज किया. जैसे as a state university, we are for teaching institution, students, और हम एक बड़ी संख्या में छात्रों को पढ़ाते हैं। हर साल गवर्नमेंट हमसे कहती है इंटर का रिजल्ट अच्छा है तो 33% एडमिशन बढ़ा के भी कर लो। नेट रिजल्ट इज़ कि हमारा न्यूमरेटर बढ़ता जाता है, डिनोमिनेटर कांस्टेंट रहता है, तो हमारा ओवरऑल फिगर ज़्यादा एडवर्स हो जाती है। अब सर दो बातें हैं इसमें, एक तो हम बच्चे को ज़्यादा पढ़ाते हैं, एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन हम अपनी जिम्मेदारी ज़्यादा बखूबी निभाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, लेकिन रैंकिंग के अंदर हमको, स्पेशली आपकी रैंकिंग के अंदर, उसका हमको थोड़ा खामियाजा मिलता है। तो सर इस इशू को आई एम नॉट आस्किंग फॉर एनी आंसर।
I fully agree with you, sir. That is why this is called a framework, National Institutional Ranking Framework. This is not an accreditation criteria and all that. It is very complex in nature. If we give advantage to one particular section of the institutions, definitely the other will be basically what you call, if advantage is given to one, there will be advantage to the other section of the society. We have given, in one of the criteria, we have given advantage to you, that is the student strength. You get very good marks in the student strength. On the other hand, faculty-student ratio will definitely have. So these are the parameters, but for, particularly for state university, that is why we have increased the student-faculty ratio is to 20. Otherwise, in all other parameters, it is 1:15. This is all, last time once we, in Shiksha Manthan, madam has raised this issue, and we had considered that in our various committees, and decided that for state public universities we should raise it to 1:20. That is the factor. And but I have seen there is a lot of improvement in the faculty student ratio in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and let's continue our effort, because your workshop today is to become a world class university, so we have to do something for that also.
Thank you.
Submission, please.
Yeah.
I am Dr. Harshvardhan from a medical institute, Sanjay Gandhi Postgraduate of Medical Sciences. I have two concerns to put before you. Number one is, little earlier you shared with us that under perception vertical, in overall there are two parts, 70% for peer perception and 30% for accreditation. Does that hold true for medical vertical as well?
This is not for overall, it is only for university category.
Not for medical category.
No. Nowhere else, all 16 categories, rather 15, except university category, there is no accreditation parameter in all other
Perception
categories.
part.
It's only in university categories, that is university and state universities.
Thank you for that. Second concern is, our institute is a unique institute in the country when we are only super specialty departments with us.
Yes.
Whereas the NIRF medical vertical parameters are volume dependent. Say for example, if you look at AIIMS New Delhi, they have got all the departments that are in the medical category. So when we apply at SG, as SG PGMS and AIIMS New Delhi applies at AIIMS New Delhi, so we suffer for the fact that we are by default only super specialty institute. So our number of specialty, number of resident, number of faculty, it all goes down. Albeit we still figure somewhere 4, 5, 6 rank. But I suggest from my end that it should be the parameters should be volume independent, so as to have a paired comparison between institutions.
See, your medical MCI or NMC norms are maybe around 1:2 or 1:3, or sometimes it is 1:4. We have already taken that into consideration. It has come down to 1:10 now. So we have already taken that into consideration. Nobody is getting affected in faculty-student ratio.
No, that's not the question, sir. I'm trying to make you understand that you asked for total number of residents, total number of students, for example.
Yes.
Since we, by the fact that we are only super specialty institute, so we don't have all the specialty with us, that leads to proportionate decrease in number of students. Whereas we are being compared with all medical institutions who have got all the specialties with them, and their volume swells up. So we suffer on that count. What I mean to say that either you add up one more section for super specialty institute, or maybe a separate vertical, or some system
That
of volume.
becomes very
volume
difficult, sir. Even the number of institutions right now participating is around 200.
186, yeah.
180, around 200,
Yeah.
something like that. And there, out of that, only there are 6 institutions which are like having a very few number of the students. But they get advantage in the one of the parameters, that is the super specialty one.
Sir, one suggestion in that case, can your organization design some volume independent parameters so that there is a paired comparison, sir? That's the only submission.
We'll look into it. We have not thought of it, but yes, but the number of institutions coming will be very, very less in that, and it will not be feasible for us. See, if there are 3 institutions, to rank them, what is the students, and everybody knows about those 3 institutions also. This will be a futile exercise if we consider only 4 or 5 institutions which are applied.
Well, then,
for
well,
that.
existing parameter can be moderated to accommodate their.
So we can
rationale.
discuss it later
Right,
on. You
right,
can discuss
right.
with me,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
whatever the
Thank you,
solution
sir.
possible, we'll
Thank you, sir.
definitely.
Thank you.
मैं विठ्ठल गोले, I am from Madan Mohan Malviya Institute of Technology. Sir, I have a question that this year the Sustainable Development Goal ranking has started. No document is given that how it is ranked and how it is going to evaluate it. We have put all the data of the energy and the environment related to Sustainable Development Goals.
So we have given those indicated parameters in that. We have got the information from various institutions. I think this question will be valid after our first. Let us see about what is the institutions say about those, and accordingly we'll come up with those issues.
Okay, thank you, sir.
सर मेरे जनरल क्वेश्चंस हैं, पॉइंट्स हैं 3-4. फर्स्ट इज मल्टीपल एंट्री एग्जिट का प्रोविजन ऑर्डिनेंस में या रूल्स रेगुलेशंस में है, तो दैट इज सफिशिएंट और उसका एग्जांपल होना चाहिए.
Examples बहुत मुश्किल है सर, particularly in engineering. If you see, the provision is there. If they have any provision, it is up to the students whether they want to exit or they want to enter or not. You cannot force them. So if there is a provision by law, or even in a private institution, the BOG has approved, it's more than enough.
Same is the case with Indian knowledge system also.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next point is regarding facilities for physically challenged students. What is the benchmarking? उसमें
It
कोई
is also very simple. We had not asked any information. We are asking a yes or no again. Whether your building has 80 building in institutions have the facility of lift or maybe ramps, and then you have wheelchair arrangement from going one building to another building, whether this is there, and then especially toilets, etc. They are for special children. That's all we are asking. We are not asking any reservation or something like that. This is simple yes or no. That is also clear in that.
Next is regarding international students. Any, I mean, number is defined?
No, sir, it is comparative.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Last question is regarding perception. कोई क्राइटेरिया है उसमें कि कौन सा विश्वविद्यालय, कौन से वाइस चांसलर, कौन से टीचर को परसेप्शन देने की अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी?
सर, हमने डेटा काफ़ी सारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से लिया था, और बल्कि पिछले साल हमने एम्प्लॉयर्स का भी डेटा सभी इंस्टीट्यूशन जिन्होंने पार्टिसिपेट किया था उनसे भी लिया था. उन सबको भी हमने ऐड किया है, और इंसा से भी लिया है, कंप्यूटर सोसाइटी ऑफ इंडिया से लिया है, एक इन्फ्लिपनेट ने एक विद्वान करके एक पोर्टल था, विद्वान से हमने बहुत सारा लिया है, IIT से लिया है, NIT से लिया, उनकी वेबसाइट से लिया है. जितना चारों तरफ हम कर सकते हैं, BCI से लिया है, और डेंटल काउंसिल से भी लिया, NMC से भी लिया, उनकी वेबसाइट्स पे जो डिग्नेटरीज के नाम थे उनसे भी लिया है. वो सब हम लोग टाइम टू टाइम अपग्रेड करते रहे.
थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू.
नासा सर, आपने तो उत्तर प्रदेश का सक्सेस स्टोरी देख रहे हैं, मतलब आपने खुद भी बताया. तो मुझे ये लगता है कि जो हमारी स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं उनका डेटा आप एनालाइज कर रहे होंगे, तो उत्तर प्रदेश को अगले 1 साल में एज ए स्टेट 2 साल में किन लेवल, क्योंकि अभी हमारी यूनिवर्सिटीज़ A++ रैंक्स में तो पूरी कंट्री में सबसे ज़्यादा आई हैं, चांसलर मैडम के उसमें, पर NIRF में हम कैसे आगे आएँ, और कौन से मेजर काम से जो गवर्नमेंट को हमारे लिए करने चाहिए और कौन से काम है जो यूनिवर्सिटीज़ कर सकती है, बिकॉज आपने तो सारे डेटा एनालाइज किया.
सर, 2 साल पहले यहाँ आया था, और मैं धन्यवाद करना चाहूँगा गवर्नर मैडम का. उस समय हम लोगों ने काफ़ी कुछ डिस्कस किया था, और उसके बाद में बहुत इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ है, और जैसा मैंने दिखाया पूरे पैरामीटर वाइज भी मैंने अभी इम्प्रूवमेंट आपके सामने रखा है, तो वो सभी क्षेत्रों में इम्प्रूवमेंट हुआ. थोड़ा कंटेंट ऑफ फैकल्टी है, और अगर आप किसी वजह से परमानेंट फैकल्टी को अपॉइंट नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, और पिछली बार भी मैंने बोला था, इस बार भी मैं ये बोलना चाहता हूँ कि अगर वो 2 सेमेस्टर में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का नाम ले लीजिए, कैसा भी नाम ले, एडहॉक ले लीजिए, जिस तरीके से भी आपका रूल्स रेगुलेशंस परमिट करें या बनाना चाहें, हम ये नहीं कहेंगे कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को 30,000 रुपये देना चाहिए, 40 देना चाहिए या 50 देना चाहिए कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एम्प्लॉयज़, दैट इज़ अप टू देम। हम उनमें नहीं पढ़ते हैं। हम ये कहते हैं कि वो 2 सेमेस्टर में वो पर्टिकुलर टीचिंग फैकल्टी को पढ़ाना चाहिए। हम सेमेस्टर प्रेज्यूम करते हैं कि वो 1 सितंबर तक सभी के सेमेस्टर शुरू हो जाता है, फर्स्ट सेमेस्टर, और 30 अप्रैल तक दूसरा सेमेस्टर ख़त्म हो जाता है। तो 1 सितंबर से लेकर 30 अप्रैल तक जो टीचर पढ़ाएगा हम उनको काउंट करेंगे। वो विजिटिंग फैकल्टी नहीं होना चाहिए, या वो पर आवर जो फैकल्टी का रेगुलेशन होता है वो नहीं होना चाहिए। आप उनको 30,000 रुपये दें महीने का, या 50,000 रुपये दें, या 1 लाख रुपये दें, वो हम स्टेट गवर्नमेंट या प्राइवेट इंस्टीट्यूशंस के ऊपर छोड़ दें। लेकिन हमारा सिर्फ कंसर्न ये रहता है कि वो आज वहाँ 2 सेमेस्टर में उनको पढ़ाना होना चाहिए। तो आप उसको कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में कर लीजिए या एडहॉक कर लीजिए, जिस तरीके का भी आप नॉमिनक्लेचर देना चाहें वो एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं सर।
क्लासेस देते हैं, वो 8 से 10 क्लासेस लेते हैं, एंड दे आर गेटिंग रेम्यूनरेशन एज वेल।
नहीं सर, हमारी डेफिनेशन क्लियर है। हम पीएचडी स्टूडेंट्स को टीचिंग फैकल्टी में काउंट नहीं करते। इंटरनेशनल में ये फैकल्टी की डेफिनेशन अलग है,
वहाँ भी नहीं होता सर।
हाँ, वहाँ अलग हैं कहीं पे, लेकिन हमारे यहाँ पर नेशनल रैंकिंग में ये नहीं है।
Good morning, sir. Sir, this side. Your left, towards your left. Sir, we have a small request. Sir, any ranking or any parameter which we develop, the ultimate purpose is to raise the quality. The NIRF ranking, we have been following it up for last 1 year, 1.5 years, sir, through the department. But we need certain support from you, like when in terms of universities, top 100 universities we know. From this year, in state universities, rankings are also given. But in terms of colleges, we only know about 200. What after 200 rank? If we can release the ranking of every college, so that will help each college to improve. Suppose if somebody even if it has rank of 8,000.
I got your point. I will answer you.
Sir, thanks.
Suppose there are 2,000 institutions which are applying under a category, and I am releasing only 200, or sometimes it is 300. And if I give the ranking maybe from 1 to 2,000, then imagine a situation when a child asks his father that I want to get admission in that particular college. There are so many reasons, there may be so many circumstances that they want to get admission in particular college, about their, maybe in their village or maybe in their city, or some reasons or the others. And that is at number 2,000 or maybe 1,900. What will happen to the psychology of the student? He will always feel that I am studying in 2,000 number institution. Now he doesn't know. So your second query is the moment. I give the score of NIRF to each institution which is applying. We are not making it public, but we are giving their total assessment score to the respective institutions, so that they can see in which parameter they are getting how many marks, and how many marks are more needed to come into the ranking. That is why this is given up to a certain level, and where the society should accept that this is, yes, these are good institutions and are being ranked accordingly. So this is keeping in view the society interest in nature, because I have the list of up to 2,000, I can publish it also. But deliberately we are not publishing. Even in the international ranking also, after 200, 300, they give ranks, bands up to 1,000 and 1,500.
Sir, I have one suggestion in this regard, if you can consider it. Let's not display, but at least let the institution know what was their ranking.
That is what I am saying, we are giving it to the institution.
Sir, you are giving the score.
Yes.
Let the institution get to know in which ranking it was there.
No, that will be made public only.
No, we can disclose only to the
Please,
institution.
we can have discussed this.
Yes, sir.
We are giving it to the institutions and they know.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Nasa. This is a question from me. From the state university, as far as PhD of state universities are concerned, we are abide by the UGC rules. And as per the UGC rule, a candidate has to publish 2 papers from the UGC care list. So students are mainly focusing on the UGC care list, and the number of Web of Science papers and Scopus thus is reduced. So can we take the coordination that UGC should also be given, that the publication mentioned in the ordinances of PhD shall mention Scopus and Web of Science? That will be better for the institutions to follow. Another point which is very important for me is that all the institutions, state universities, they are having very good social science departments and arts departments. They are also publishing very good papers. But Web of Science and Scopus, all these publications are not included in those. Can we consider those for the rankings?
Even in the colleges also, this issue was discussed with so many principals of the colleges. There are papers which are considered by Web of Science and Scopus, the journals which are considered. Number 2, as far as the care list is concerned, and you must have read, I have also read in news that they have discontinued with the care list also. It is up to the UGC to decide which list they are going to. I don't have any authority to comment on the UGC's authorities.
Good afternoon, sir. Pratibha Goyal from Awadh University, Ayodhya. I have a little concern for the affiliating universities. Since my own university, we have about 800 colleges spread over to 7 districts, and we are providing affiliation to them. More than 50% of our energy, our time and resources, we are contributing a lot so far as gross enrollment ratio is also concerned. So can there be some provision for our kind of universities, since you have made provisions for several types of institutions and universities, can our effort also be taken into account? Thank you.
Thank you, madam. As in my beginning, I started with saying that there are 2 types of assessments. One is the individual assessment, other one is the comparative assessment. As far as the ranking is concerned, it does not take into factors all those which are responsible for increasing the for the quality of institution. Definitely there are a given set of parameters where we have to compare. THE has different parameters, we have different parameters, and though we are coming closer to each other, but everything cannot be. If you see our first year's parameters, there were a lot of things which were added which we had to delete, because the things which cannot be compared, it's not good to seek the information about that. Now coming back to your affiliating universities, basically what we see in affiliating universities that most of them, I'm not saying that, most of them have their postgraduate programs. They are running the postgraduate programs, and the undergraduate programs are being run by the affiliated institutions. So we see that a lot of research happening in the postgraduate programs being conducted in those affiliated institutions. That is why they are being ranked based on the number of the students only in those postgraduate programs or the PhD scholars they have in their university itself, not the affiliating institutions, and the research also being conducted in that. So that is why how we can bring it at par with other universities.
So that means the research paper under our affiliation in those affiliated institutes, can we take that data also?
No, you cannot take that, because otherwise you will be producing 1,000 PhD, on the other hand, which are the only universities, the teaching universities, they can have only 100 or 200 PhD. So that cannot be taken into consideration. It is basically, it is not possible, madam.
Kindly consider.
UR is a very university and all that. There are 600 institutions. AKTU might be having around 400, 500 institutions. How can I consider that? Number of the students will be so huge that it will not be possible for them to sustain. And then how to get the information of all the institutions? It means I am assessing all those institutions in one university itself. That is practically not possible and not advisable also.
My humble appeal is kindly if you can consider.
We can discuss it separately. I got your point. It is not feasible, but you can discuss it with me later on during the.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Dr. Anil Kumar Nasaji.
Sir, one question from me, sir.
Yes.
Myself, Professor Sanjay Singh, Vice Chancellor of this university,
Sir.
Dr. Shakuntala Mishra, National Accreditation University.
Hello.
Our university is a completely different aspect. That is, we have a 50% seats are reserved for the Divyangjan. And as far as PhD is concerned, also we have the 50-50. One teacher can have one normal student and another Divyang student. For the Divyang, we have the maximum PhD completion period is double than the normal. So the number of publications, other things automatically get reduced within certain period of time. So that if you compare with the normal university, then it will be very, very difficult. We will never be able to figure out or it will be difficult for us to compete with in spite of having all the things. So that specific domain, a specific category has to be taken care of by the NIRF, whether this type of university should be given or some other domains should be added so that they can at least get some weightage and can participate. And
We can look into that if there are enough participants. Maybe I don't see the universities specifically. I mean, I'm very happy to listen all about today. I had discussed with Mr. Mishra, he was accompanying us. I learnt about this university and kudos to this UP government and having come up with such a university. Rather, I was suggesting him we should start some short-term training programs, maybe for a week or a month or 6 months time also, and such a huge infrastructure with very good facilities for PWD. That is marvelous what we are doing. But how many universities, such universities are there? I know there is one JSS also. We'll find out the data. If there are at least 8-10 universities, we can do specifically for that also.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Good
sir.
afternoon, sir. Myself, Dr. Yashveer Singh, Harcourt Butler Technical University. Sir, my question is related to that international faculty. How we can, international faculty, because it's a government institute, how we can...
You can ask this question to Ashwin when in his lecture, because we are not considering any international faculty parameter.
Okay. Only in this QS ranking.
We don't have any parameter.
Okay.
Ashwini will tell you.
Sir,
Thank you so much. This was the last question, sir. I request you can ask your question in the next session. It will be kind of you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Anil Kumar Nasaji, for your enlightening address. मैं आचार्य संजय सिंह, माननीय कुलपति डॉक्टर शकुंतला मिश्रा राष्ट्रीय पुनर्वास विश्वविद्यालय से अनुरोध करना चाहूँगी कि वे मंच पर पधारें और डॉक्टर अनिल कुमार नासा जी को शॉल व स्मृति चिन्ह प्रदान कर उनका सम्मान करें। कृपया जोरदार ताली डॉक्टर अनिल कुमार नासा जी के लिए। बहुत बहुत आभार, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अब हम आज के कार्यक्रम के अगले महत्वपूर्ण सत्र की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं। हमारे बीच उपस्थित हैं डॉक्टर अश्विन फर्नांडिस, सीईओ एशिया अफ्रीका रीजन, QS वर्ल्ड रैंकिंग UK, the world largest international education network. Dr. Fernandez worked closely with institutions across the region to better understand the local context and to support the drive for excellence and capacity building. Dr. Ashwin Fernandez is known as an ambassador of the quality movement in education and has advocated the need for independent evaluation mechanism for promoting excellence. Dr. Fernandez has authored the book entitled India's Knowledge Supremacy, The New Dawn, which is the thought-provoking perspective on the evolution of higher education in India since ancient time to now. He has recently authored book titled Modi Alog, Conversations for a Viksit Bharat, which has received positive reviews across quarters. श्रीमन, मैं आपसे विनम्र अनुरोध करना चाहूँगी कि आप स्ट्रैटेजी फॉर इम्प्रूविंग ग्लोबल रैंकिंग विषय पर अपने विचारों को व्यक्त करें। सर।
Okay, fine.
A very good afternoon, and first to our Honorable Governor here, thank you ma'am for hosting this day-long workshop for the benefit of UP universities. I'm delighted to see, and we hope that through this session, I'll be able to share with you some strategies which you can adopt towards building world-class universities. So, of course, Dr. Nasa spoke of our national rankings, NIRF, and I believe that any domestic system or national system is very important to build the appetite, to build the stamina of the institutions while they go forwards, which those are eligible for international rankings. We've seen that the state of UP has done really well. So today will be a kind of a report card day for the universities which have already been in the rankings, in the QS World University Rankings, and we'll go from local to global as we move to the QS journey. We are very grateful again to the Honorable Governor for encouraging all of you to be here. And in the next 45 minutes or so, we hope that I can answer some of your questions and take you through the short journey. So first and foremost, the QS mission, which is to enable motivated people around the world to fulfill their potential by fostering educational achievement, international mobility, and career development. QS is a global higher education organization. We are independent. We are not supported by any government in the public domain. And we work with, of course, agencies across the world, especially also with NBA. We've arranged several workshops because we believe in open access of the data. But of course, the parameters are very global. As a global organization, I would like to say that there are some things which set QS apart. QS today is used by various government agencies. While you see the mission of QS, which is to enable motivated people, which are the students, and while we are here in the room today talking of how, I found the discussion very interesting with the various questions put to Dr. Even more difficult questions coming to me later. But let us not forget, these rankings are not for you. These rankings are for students to make decisions. Of course, they are not the final word. Rankings can never cover your vision mission. Rankings can never cover what universities like our host university, Shakuntala Mishra Rehabilitation University, is doing, because they have a different mission. But we hope through some of the parameters, we are able to provide you with global visibility. So, QS rankings is one of the most referenced rankings in the world today. And while you submit data to make it to the QS World University Rankings as the final part of the ranking, you are going to be seen as a globally renowned university. And the journey you're making from NIRF, so I like that we started NIRF first, because NIRF sets the stage, provides you with, of course, a lot of encouragement. Then you get into regional rankings, like the Q ranking, and thereon to the World University Rankings. So this slide deck actually shows you, and I like when, of course, Dr. Nasa mentioned QS and THE, and I was smiling because I believe that, again, when QS is the #1 ranking in the world today, and this slide deck from the Google Lens data showcases how much traffic. 62 million people visited the QS site last year. Now imagine those 18 universities from Uttar Pradesh, which are in the QS Asia ranking, and the 5 which are in the world ranking, receiving global visibility of 62 million. That means we are putting UP on the global map. And this shows QS and Shanghai in terms of the traffic, what we receive, far more than any other ranking. That's important for you to know. Why? Because the effort you will be the outcome, what you'll be seeing thereon. All right? So, before I go into methodology, and I want you to get the whole picture, to be motivated, because after this session, we'll all go back home. We'll all go back to your universities, and tomorrow all you vice chancellors will be signing various files. We'll be doing various activities. But I want this message to remain with you and the hard work of our Honorable Governor to further manifest so that you can do better next year, all right? So there are 4 purposes of the rankings. And I hope all of you are able to take this message with you. 1, don't forget the student. The student needs to make the decisions. The second is the nation. The nation, if it wants to achieve a Viksit Bharat status, you have to take the universities on the journey forward towards being globally recognized. Okay? We've seen several countries today in QS rankings for point-based immigration systems. That means if your students want to go out globally, want to get global scholarships as well, they will need to start, of course, from you coming out from globally ranked universities. We are also looking at industry, where the industry today is looking to collaborate. Who are they going to collaborate with? And finally, you yourself. While you know, through, of course, NRF, how you're doing nationally, how are you going to compete with your counterparts in Malaysia, in Indonesia? So these rankings will help you do that. Now let me make one final point before I go into some of the data. Why is it important? The QS ranking is important, and I'm using only QS. It can be, for me, of course, the state is important, the country is important. When we look at the GDP data, and we see the top 30 countries by GDP, it is no surprise that those top 30 countries make up 1,000 of the 1,500 ranked by QS. QS ranks the best universities in the world ranking. We don't have a list of simply all the universities which apply, cannot buy from India. We have only 46. 46 of the best universities. In the Asia ranking, we have 146 in Asia. Because of course the competition is between Asia. Doing better in rankings, putting your benchmarks. Today, you will decide what are the benchmarks are you going to put. Because the rankings is not the goal. The ranking is for you a benchmark and for you to track how you're going to progress further. And similarly, when we look at R&D spending, research and development spending, we can see not 30, the top 20 countries make up almost 900 of the universities ranked. So, if you do better, of course you'll get more funding to various projects. And I know I've been speaking to our next speaker from DST as well on various fundings available for institutions. There are global fundings available as well. Doing better in the rankings will be able to make you attractive to global partners. And we were in Goa a few weeks ago, just about a month back, and we've seen the attraction for collaboration with UP, all right? So at the end of this whole thing, we hope that you'll be able to use it as a benchmark, all right? And finally, before I go into the data points, I'm not here today to say that QS is the best ranking, okay? It is not a perfect ranking system. It is an objective ranking system. It is a ranking system which has been in use for 21 years. It might not cover all your aspirations. It might have faults, but it is a system and a good barometer and benchmark for you to understand what do you have to do if we have to achieve a Viksit Bharat or a developed UP status in the next few years, all right? So with that, let's get to the basics of the rankings. So, as I said earlier, why you should take part in rankings, for those which are not in the rankings as yet, okay? It's a benchmark, you will learn, it'll help you plan, it'll help you open new markets, and of course, it'll help you celebrate. Because part of the presentation today will celebrate the achievements of UP as well, all right? So, I will move to the next slide, which is which rankings are meant for you. Those which are already in the rankings, great, congratulations. But those which want to aspire and join those universities, we have the World University Ranking, which is the top echelon of higher education rankings for universities in the world. And followed by that, we rankings, which are looking at subject-specific rankings. So institutions like the Rehabilitation University, which is very specific, can actually start featuring in the specific subject which is available in QS, which are in skills, can feature in the skills part as well, all right? And then the third one is the Asia University ranking, which is kind of a starting point for you. These are the first three rankings for universities. Then we have the sustainability ranking. It is not a SDG ranking, it's a environment, sustainability and governance ranking, covering the entire gamut of sustainability, which is the fourth ranking. And then we have the best student cities. What we would like to do in the next few years, while all these universities do better, have one city from UP feature as a top city for students to study in. That's the next goal. We have already achieved the first four. We have universities in the world from UP, we have universities in Asia, we have universities in subjects and sustainability. Some new entries as well in sustainability. We need to work towards how we can make, perhaps whichever city it is, I don't know, maybe it's Lucknow, it's Kanpur, whichever your city has the maximum number of universities, can then get into the best student cities ranking. We also have specific business school rankings. So those which are specific, or you have a business school, you can look at the global MBA rankings. You can look at the executive MBA rankings. If you have an online MBA, you can apply for an online MBA ranking. And I have to say that in our online MBA ranking, we rank about 100 MBA programs globally. And the top ranked MBA, online MBA program is from a university in UP. It's a private university, of course. Amity University is ranked one of the top in online MBA. So if you have an online MBA program, you can also apply there, all right? And then we have the business masters and international trade. So various rankings. So that's the criteria. Let's look at the basic inclusion criteria. You need to have graduated at least 3 classes to apply for the ranking. So both undergraduate and postgraduate. You need to offer broad faculty areas. So arts and humanities, engineering and technology, life science and medicine, social sciences and natural sciences, right? And third is you have to be teaching both undergraduate and postgraduate programs. Right? That's the basic criteria. So methodology, and then we'll get into strategies and we'll look at some of the universities that are doing very well. So when we look at the Asia University rankings, we can see there are several indicators. So for the indicators, we can see several of them. The most important here is academic reputation. Okay? The academic reputation part we see here has got a weight of 30%. Now, this is a global survey QS conducts every year between January and March. And this survey asks, the survey is done by NRF. QS runs a global survey, so maybe there's an opportunity to collaborate with NRF to actually do one survey globally and get the data. So, you know, we should be working together. So academic reputation in QS has a 30% weight. And that comes from this survey happening every year. We collect data from about 500,000 academic contacts globally. Almost 5 lakh contacts are part of the pool. And in this survey, we ask the academics around the world which university produces exceptional research in specific areas. And that data, each academic can participate and name up to 10 domestic and 30 international universities in a specific domain area. And we've seen a 10 times increase in nominations for UP universities after the effort what ma'am has put in. And we'll show you some data afterwards, because this is going to be critical for you. For the first time last year, and even so this year, several of you have written to me asking on various questions on how to submit this, how to submit your academic list. Of course, QS allows you to send 400 academic names to QS to include in the survey, right? You cannot control the survey, but at least you can give the 400 emails to QS, and QS will include them. So this time, a 10 times increase in nominations coming for UP universities, and you will see the impact of that later. So that's academic reputation. It's a global survey, and those who are not submitting these academic contacts could submit it for the next cycle next year. The next most important part is the employer reputation. Now, the employer reputation in the Asia ranking has a 20% weight. We separate both the reputations. Academic is specifically on research. Employer is how is your graduates which go out in the workforce, how are they perceived? Again, a 5 times increase in the nominations coming for UP universities in the last cycle, and we hope in the current cycle we will see an even more increase of votes or nominations for UP universities. And in there we ask employers globally, including in India, which are the universities they prefer to hire graduates from. The employer could be Lucknow based, it could be Kanpur based, it could be Delhi based. They can choose up to 10 employers, 10 universities in India, if they're in India, and up to 30 international. So these are 2 cornerstones of the QS ranking, which makes up 50% of the Asia ranking. This is reputation in QS. Now, you might feel it's a lot for reputation, but look at the transnational benchmark. We are evaluating universities starting from the east coast of Japan to the west coast of the US. A total of 7,000 global universities apply for the rankings every year. We are counting and evaluating 10 billion data points in the rankings every year. So it's a big exercise. So they might not be perfect measures, but they have worked and are continuing to work as we progress further. The next part in this ranking is the research part. So that's the research. So this one, academic reputation, is also part of research. Okay, but it doesn't come from Scopus, it is reputation. So continuing on, part of research is 10% for citations per paper and 5% for papers per faculty. So in effect, research and discovery has a 45% because the academic reputation is actually reputation for research. So citations per paper comes from the papers published in the last 5 years. We do not include self-citations. Okay, so that's research. Employability is 20%. Then is learning experience. So learning experience looks at faculty-student ratio. That weight has been reduced to 10%. As a global ranking, we are reducing the amount of data universities have to submit themselves. Why is that? Because we want to reduce the influence of how much can universities control the data submission, because most of them are global, right? So 10% for faculty-student ratio and 5% for faculty or staff who have a PhD. So maximum number of staff for PhD would enable you to get a higher score. We don't have marks or points in QS rankings. We only have percentages. That means every year, whichever university does the best in each indicator is scaled at 100. And then on a hierarchy, they are scaled down and then given the percentage. So every year, we reset the ranking to start with whoever is the best and then scale it down, right? Then the global engagement part. So somebody had asked the question of international faculty. Yes, QS uses international faculty, right? So what are the indicators in that? We have international faculty ratio, which has been reduced now to 2.5%. And international student ratio, which has been reduced again to 2.5%. Internationalization is going to be a vital part of building India. And as the Honorable Prime Minister has said several times, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, we are one family as a world, right? And this is what the rankings also covers. How many international faculty come in and how many international students come in. So I believe QS rankings is very much ready for the aspirations of New India. And your universities, if you want to build on that, can easily use these rankings to do better, okay? So that's two of them which are internationalization. Then we have International Research Network. The International Research Network covers collaborators you have in your papers. So if you've seen earlier, we've seen papers here. So from the same papers, we actually check how many of them have a foreign collaborator. Anybody outside of India. And if you have collaborated with an institution on 3 or more papers in the last 5 years, they become a collaborator. So more the number of countries and more the number of institutions would give you a better score under global engagement. And then the 2 new indicators as well, which have been there for a while, is inbound exchange students. Students coming in from foreign countries for at least a semester. And outbound exchange students, students going outside of India for at least a semester. So this is the methodology very briefly for you. We can, of course, answer questions, but also I would like to talk to you about the performance of UP and what you need to do moving forward, all right? So hold on with me on that part. So that's the Asia ranking. Then the world ranking. If you can make it based on our meetings here in UP for the last year, if you remember, you have to make it to the Asia ranking. Only then you can make it to the world. With the recommendations of MAM criteria this year. That means if you're a good university and you have applied data, we can directly consider you for the world ranking even before Asia ranking. All right? So that's with the world ranking. So world ranking has got academic reputation 30%, same like the Asia ranking. So you don't have to do anything different. Okay, so that's with the academic reputation there, 30%. Employer reputation is 15%. How much is it in Asia ranking? Employer reputation, 20%. Yes, you already have the answers with the question paper, Sanjeev. So that's 30 plus 15%, slightly reduced. The 5% there is a new indicator we have created in the world. Now, we are calling it employment outcomes. Half of it is employment rate. How much is your institutional employment rate? And the other half, 2.5%, is how many are your notable alumni. That means leading global companies, our cabinet ministers, our heads of NGOs. So we are collecting that data as well, all right? And then research, if you see here, there's only one indicator in citations, which is citations per faculty. In Asia, it was citations per paper and papers per faculty, 2 indicators. But in here at 20%, we have citations per faculty. Right? And then we have sustainability. And UP has done well in sustainability as well, having new institutions make it to the sustainability ranking after the last presentation. So that's 5% there for sustainability. Faculty-student ratio is 10%, similar to the Asia ranking. And then in global engagement has got international faculty ratio 5%, international student ratio 5%, and international research network. International research network, anybody know, anybody can tell me what it is? From the last slide. It's collaborations with foreign affiliations, right? So all this put together is the World University Ranking. It is very simple methodology. The effort we have put in, we can see, has started to show impact. And for the first time, the 18 universities from UP in Asia ranking, which is 5 more than the previous year, thanks to the efforts of our Honorable Governor. A round of applause to all the institutions. Now, which are the institutions which have, me just see my list here, so we know. So the 5 institutions which made it last year, but that was in November, is Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University, which is the ranking. We have Madan Mohan Malviya University of Technology, Mahatma Jyotibai Phule Rohilkhand University, Sam Higginbotham Institute of Agriculture, and a private university, Galgotias. So we had new institutions make it in the rankings thanks to the efforts. The topmost, of course, you house some of the institutes of national importance, but we can see the number of institutions in the Asia rankings increase, and the efforts what you are putting in are starting to show. How do you do better than this? All right, that's the next question. But that's in the world ranking, we have seen that the institutions, there is one new institution which is IIIT. Now, it is for you all to make it to the world ranking. Right? You've seen reputation has a major part of it, and research has the other part of it. But we've seen the journey slowly. We've seen that what you need to do is, again, we'll go through some of the pointers with you, but definitely to go here, we've already seen institutions, and I have 2 institutions here which have done really well, University of Lucknow and Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University, which after all the efforts have made it to the Asia ranking with Chhatrapati Shahuji, and also to the global sustainability. Now, the sustainability ranking is a very difficult ranking. And in order to make it there, along with some of the universities which are making great sustainability practice, is really worth for all of you all to applaud all of them, because you're in Asia South as well in sustainability. Now, the next step is how to work towards the global rankings. So for that, let's look at some of the strategies we can use, all right? So first is the university submitted data. Now, for the university submitted data, I suppose institutions have already submitted those data points. For the international faculty, and I know some of you all had questions on international faculty, for international faculty particular, we are looking at international faculty spending at least 3 months in a calendar year. So what could you do to attract international faculty to come into UP, into your institutions, and spend time doing research or doing study programs? They don't need to be there throughout the year. How are you going to build this collaboration? Of course, you are going to work towards building the UP brand, so that at least if they are remotely based, if they are based in Malaysia, they are going to come and, of course, teach and do research with you for at least 1 month, then they come back, go back, come back the next month, and then come back after again. But still are mentoring your institutions, working with you on research projects. So we are looking at the last reported year. So if you are able to this year increase the number of international faculty who are at least coming for 3 months in a year, that will help improve your score, help get international visibility and collaboration. For international students, this is the difficult part, right? And in Asia ranking, that only has a 2.5% weight. But what could you build? And this is a long-term strategy. Some of the global South countries are really looking for good education. And I think our institutions which have got capacity should be building their brand in Africa. You already have got good number of students here. We are to Zanzibar in later part of this year. And I would encourage you all, we can look at a few vice chancellors of UP universities who can actually come to Zanzibar. We will universities and different high schools in Tanzania, Zanzibar and Kenya, where you can discuss with them some collaboration and offer perhaps some programs where students from there can come and study here. But this is a long-term struggle. You have to build your rankings to get students as well from international countries to come in. But you have to start somewhere. Like ma'am brought us all to Goa, and all of you came to Goa, now it's time to start taking you outside India, to be able to showcase to the world that this is the state which is very keen on internationalization. So international faculty, same, focus on Africa, focus on the global South, because these are the countries, regions will want to come to you. And we've seen several countries showing interest in India. We were at this event in Delhi a few weeks ago where the Arab countries are looking to work with Indian universities. Okay, so we have to broaden the horizon in these collaborations. For faculty-student ratio, now here is where I think the numbers are, and I understand what Dr. Nasa was speaking, the size of institutions is really huge. But a percentage of faculty-student ratio is now declining in QS. It's only a 10% weight. You could, and for us, we count faculty slightly differently than how NIRF does. For us, if it is a postdoc teaching who's not from your own institution, so the person is not registered as a student in, or as a PhD in this case in your institution, and is from another institution and is teaching with them as faculty. Because for us, a faculty is anyone who's teaching or doing research or assisting in research as well. Where we look at PhD is for the faculty with PhD indicator. So you can start to work to recruit more in the research areas, because research assistants also can be counted as faculty in the count. Besides, of course, looking at hiring more faculty, you could use the strategy what a lot of the foreign universities in the West and also in the East are using, right? We can discuss the strategies more in detail in a smaller working group and see what kind of immediate actions you need to take to build that, right? You can also work on getting international faculty. That means somebody who's doing a postdoc, wants to do a postdoc from Africa, come and work here for 3 months in a year, or come and work for the whole year. And that's a great way to both increase your faculty and also to increase your international faculty. Now, these are general strategies. You will have to use them with caution, of course, all right? Those who have not submitted data as yet, the deadline has finished. Anybody who has not submitted data and wants to submit data for the world, or has everybody submitted? 12th of February was the deadline. So, which institution? Okay. So we'll have to see which are the institutions which have not submitted, and we can immediately work out a plan to get this data submitted. All right? Yes. Yes. So what happens is there are 7,000 universities submitting data, and let me share with you. So this is how the tool looks like when you submit data. All right? When you submit the data and you click on save, what happens here? It becomes into the hourglass. That means it's submitted. There is no email which comes to you. It's a log there. You can take a screenshot of this, okay? When we go in a system and validate the data, saying, okay, data accepted, it turns into green, all right? So as long as you have a checkbox here, that means the data is fine. So today, those who have submitted data, please check. If it is still the hourglass here, that means the data has not been accepted as yet. You might want to go and check why. Because next to it is a message board here. It will tell you why it's not accepted, right? So that point on data submission. So research impact. Now, we are looking at the last 5 years of data for all the research indicators, which is papers, citations, and international research network. I think the connections you have all made in Goa. There were about 15 MOUs signed. We need now to materialize those MOUs. We need you to do more collaboration, because whatever collaboration you're going to do now and publish papers is only going to take impact after 2 years. So you have to make sure these collaborations have started to work. Because if you wait for the next few months, you lose the time, and then the impact is not going to be immediately, right? So International Research Network covers that area. And along with that, most important, let's look at this slide here. What kind of research are you publishing? QS is only looking at Scopus. We are not counting these type of articles or papers. So if your university has a dean of research or vice president or vice chancellor for research or whoever it is, you might want to check whether people are publishing in these areas. It might be required, but is not counted for rankings for us, all right? We don't look at the quartiles. That means if it's quartile 1, 2, 3, or 4, does not matter for QS. We only don't count is self-citations, okay? The other part in research, which I would like to talk to you about, is the affiliation cap. Is okay? Okay. Now this is the affiliation cap. Now, we've all seen the push for scientific research in India. But at the same time, there are a lot of papers which have multiple affiliations. Based on the subject, and what are affiliations? They are not people, they are institutions. You should be collaborating with institutions. But once it hits a certain limit, we don't count it anymore, all right? So you might, as leaders, might want to start looking at which subject area and what are the affiliation caps. So for example, if it's in linguistics or library, in this case, library information management, the cap is 32. So if on a paper we have more than 32 affiliations, QS will not count it, all right? Or for that matter, any other subject here. All the subjects are listed here. We have, for example, pharmacy. Pharmacy is 29. But some of the subjects like, for example, communication has 9. Okay, so you might want to look at that as well. At the moment, you can't do anything. But for the next cycle in next January, you need 400 of your academic and 400 of your employer names ready by then. That means whoever you meet in the next few months, if you go to Africa, if you go even in India, you meet institution, those contacts are very important so that you can share them with QS. Okay? And also with your alumni, right? You have to find out where are they working. So you can find all those employer contacts as well to give it to QS. So some of the quick steps, and then we'll open up for questions. I understand we are on time. So what is that we need to do? Okay. We all need to study the methods. We have a documentation available for you. We have done this session, but this session today covers, of course, the highlights. Your team, you need to have a team. Like how Upkram team is there at a state level, do you have your own team domestically in your institution? Because they will need to study all the methods and submit the data. Also plan ahead. If you want to do well next year, you have to start now. Okay? QS rankings are fast moving, and that's for the matter any ranking, right? You have to start planning ahead. Also, you need to submit this data. Even though your university might not be ranked today, it is highly important that you submit data. Okay? Because by your engagement, you will get updates, you will get reports, and you know when you submit, of course, in QS, you get a full fact file. If you haven't, there's 18 universities, I think at least half of them are here. Report card, it's a private report card. Please let me know so we can arrange to send it to you. Okay? Also, provide your contacts to QS if we still don't have you in this. Okay? We'll close here for questions, and because there's still many more slides. This slide deck has got about 100 slides, and if you like to learn more, I'm ready to give you the slides, but we are also happy to engage more with you. Okay? We want for universities to do better, because that's the only way we are going to be a developed nation if every one of us puts together the efforts. And it's a joint collaboration with you know, a national ranking as well as a global ranking, because they are doing two different things. And the rankings are not the goal. They are the outcome of what you're going to do. Questions if you have right now. I'm happy if there are no questions as well.
Out of inquisitiveness, I am just asking the question. So far as the international faculty appointment is concerned, suppose we take the help of one international faculty in X university. He is doing work in research. At the same time, we appoint the same person in Y university for engaging classes. And both the universities, both the institutions have applied for ranking, international ranking. So whether that person, the presence of that person, the appointment of that person is valid for your QS ranking or not? Both the institutions, they are taking the help of that person.
Yes. So it depends how many hours the person is giving you.
So what is the criteria?
If it meets the criteria of this person spends 3 months on campus.
That is okay. So he will stay here
There
for
is
3
no
months.
mandate of the hours they need to spend.
So
as they have a contract with you,
okay.
That means an employment contract. They have to have a proper employment contract.
Yes.
There are so many adjunct faculty. They could be teaching with you, they could be teaching somewhere else.
Yes.
That is, but
there is no restriction.
There is no restriction in
Thank
that
you.
area.
Thank
you. Yes, there is one question there.
Yeah. Sir, I represent Bundelkhand University, and almost for last 2 years we are visible on QS platform.
Which institution, sir?
Bundelkhand University, Jhansi. Bundelkhand University.
Okay.
Yeah. Sir, but for last 2 years we have not got a single query from any international student, nor from it get admission in our university. So the entire exercise goes as a futile. Number one. Number two, sir, regarding this confirmation, like we don't know like whether we have submitted our data or not, like this Times ranking or NIRF, they send a confirmation mail. So this is a small suggestion that in case if QS can send us confirmation mail, then we are sure about our participation.
So
Thank you.
what we do is first we need to ensure that your email address is updated. We do send emails before the ranking is published. That means by the month end now, in March,
Yeah.
you will receive an email saying, this is the data we have validated. This is
Right.
the data we have. Please recheck again. If you are not getting those emails,
No, we are getting those emails,
Okay.
but you know, after final submission, we don't get any confirmation mail. That was the thing. Like, so in case if we get it, like,
but again, the system is how it's designed. But I get your point. I'll provide this feedback to our
right.
team.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Where is this?
Sir, here.
Okay. Yes. Is it there? Yes.
Hello,
please.
sir. Sir, I'm Dr.
Okay.
Pratigya Pathak from Bundelkhand University. Sir, my question is, any postdoctoral fellow in a foreign country can come to our university and just teach us for 3 months. So he can be taken as an international faculty, considered an international faculty.
Yes. If they have a contract with you, so
Matlab, is he or she a postdoctoral student, not a faculty?
it can be considered as long as they are either teaching or doing research.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So just one question.
Please.
See, the entire...
If you can identify yourself, it will really help me to build my memory also. Yourself? Or which
I'm
is-
Sangeeta Shukla, Merit University, Vice Chancellor. So the entire UP is struggling very hard, and definitely we are striving hard because of our Honorable Governor Ma'am. As are concerned, and international faculty, we all are facing serious problems. We don't get many international students, plus faculty is not ready to be here for 3 months. An option, like we appoint adjunct faculty, they teach for 15 days, 20 days, online teaching they're prepared to do. And students, we are sending students to foreign university, maybe they are going for 2 months, 1 month to different universities. So we are doing this, but this is not counted. How you can help us in this?
Okay, for international faculty, I would suggest maybe Dr. Sanjeet can organize a session with you. So QS doesn't mandate, of course we say they should be on campus for 3 months, but those 3 months can be split between different times, right? And the rest of the time they could be doing online. But there could be circumstances where they don't come on campus at all. You will need to find the reporting, how to report those numbers, because at the end of the day, the onus is on you when you submit these numbers, right? It could be that they don't have a visa to travel. As long as they have a contract with you and they are investing time in teaching or doing research for you, you could decide how to submit those numbers. Now, the challenge is the 3 months non-negotiable for now.
Okay.
Yeah. The rest of the period is something you can do. You can say, okay, they're not coming because various things. But for now, and we understand the challenge for international students. I do understand, immediately while getting ranking, it's going to be a process you will build. And maybe you can run a summer school, okay, or a winter school. That's something maybe we can plan with Governor Ma'am to do a scholarship program for 10 days. So these students can come into Lucknow, and maybe I'm only using Lucknow because I've been Lucknow and Kanpur, so please do not, Meerut maybe is another place. They could come and experience the education program, and you can build ambassadors. Because what we want to do is, there is of course a media perception, right? People are very worried to come to India to study from wherever it is. We have to change the perception. So many countries, including Korea as well, have done summer and winter schools where they are running batches, fully funded, where students come, stay on campus, experience the culture, they do a short-term program for a week, 10 days, 15 days, and then go back. That helps you build ambassadors as well. So that's something you could do to build the awareness. You'll have great institutions across several areas. Okay? Short-term exchange programs are not considered. They should be at least a semester, but that's only 2.5%. We still have a lot more weightage which you can work on. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
So I'm from VBS Purvanchal University, Jaunpur. I have a simple question that do we need to obtain the consent letters from the academics and employers whose list you are submitting as contacts?
It is a best practice to get consent, especially if they are from the European Union. Because the European Union has made general data protection regulation very strict. So if you're giving me a faculty who's based in Germany, you definitely should be taking their consent, because otherwise they could sue QS for spam or unsolicited email. But if they're based in India, they're based in Singapore, which other countries, they're fine. You don't need to take consent as long as you know that they're going to participate in the survey, right?
So,
Thank you.
I'm Gitanjali
Dr.
Mishra
Fernandez.
from University of Lucknow.
Okay.
I have a couple of questions. So the international student as well as the international faculty has two data sets, one which is outbound and inbound.
Yes.
University of Lucknow has a very good inbound population of students,
For
international
exchange
students
programs?
coming in. Yes,
Okay.
we are doing good with that. But the outbound is pretty sparse. How does that affect our output and our rankings in that?
You will lose, right? But what is stopping us from sending our students to neighboring countries? An outbound exchange program to Sri Lanka, or even to Nepal, or even to Africa. There are some beautiful places you can send the students to which are very low cost, right? It could be a challenge, but we could work something with Sri Lanka, and the Sri Lankan government at the moment is really good friends with India. How could we leverage that?
So
It's
our
just a thought.
students are more interested in moving towards the European and American counterparts rather than to Nepal, or they have better access to education here. At least because we have students
it's
coming in from
experience.
Sri Lanka.
It's experience. But if they want to go to the West, what is stopping them?
Finances, I believe. Right?
Finances, okay. Then we have to find out something in the vicinity then. Maybe as close as Malaysia. You have a direct flight to Kuala Lumpur from here, right?
Yeah, we're working on it. Our numbers are gradually
Increasing, yeah.
going up, but it's a very slow process. So another
It is,
thing,
yes.
you were talking about the capping as far as collaboration. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Okay. So on the collaboration front, okay. So what happens? In Scopus, each subject has got a code. You could be publishing, for example, you decide your faculty area, ma'am? Zoology, okay. So where do we have? I think half the thing is not published. So imagine it was zoology, but you decide to publish something in the journal is indexed in biological sciences, right? And in that case, biological sciences, the affiliation cap is 38. That means for the journal indexed in this area, even though you're publishing in zoology, the journal is specific code. It means what we will do is we'll check how many affiliations are there on that. If there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 38 affiliations, 37 are fine. The moment it hits 38, we don't count that paper or that citation from that paper at all. Okay? That's how it works.
Thank you, Dr.
Sir, good afternoon.
Pranadji.
Let me just take this question here, please.
I'm from Rohilkhand University, Bareilly, KP Singh.
Is it mine?
Hello.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, I am KP Singh from Rohilkhand University, Bareilly. First of all, I want to thank you that you gave a very interesting lecture in Raj Bhavan 2 years back, and then our part in the QS ranking, and we got a place there. And secondly, I am thankful to Honorable Governor and to you that Bareilly is a socially, economically very backward area. But with our faculty members' efforts, we could get 5 international faculty and 76 students in 2 years, starting with the 0. And the best way is to contact the cultural sections of the embassies for their languages. They are very interested to teach their languages, and we are considering faculties having page, and second one is some other subjects. So that is one thing. And I want to know from you, if we allocate a course to any international faculty, complete course, and he or she wish to complete this course in a hybrid mode, for example, for 1 month in our campus and 1.5 months online courses, and he or she is engaged in evaluation and giving marks and everything, will she or the candidate will be considered for the faculty?
The candidate is
Because for a faculty, I think allotment of course is
not
important
required.
thing.
They can either do teaching or research as well.
Teaching, research as well, but teaching, if you allocate a
Teaching,
course.
you don't need to allocate a particular course. They could be teaching several courses. So as long as they are on campus for 3 months in a year, and they have a contract to teach, we don't have a minimum requirement for how many courses they should
Generally, in our universities, we don't give any contract because they are coming for some other purpose. So we allocation of the course, departmental allocation of a course or a part of a course is the part of a teaching. So will he be considered?
You have to have an engagement contract with them, because how are you going to pay them otherwise?
So then we have to have a engagement contract on the university
You need to have
side.
that. Otherwise, they will just be a visiting faculty who's not a faculty.
No, there are letters that you are coming here for that purpose, collaboration letter, visa and everything is there. But we don't have contract engagement like in abroad faculties are engaged in a way.
You need to have that for international faculty.
And we can mention there a course allocation within the contract.
In the contract, whatever you mention is fine. But if they are going to be recruited as international faculty, then you need a proper paperwork. We are not immediately asking you to prove the paperwork, but you might be pulled out and say, out of every 10 cases, there are 2 which are further checked. So if asked, you need to be able to produce those contracts.
Actually, generally what is happening, the faculties are coming for faculty exchange programs, and when they come for a particular research type, in extra time they are taking classes with the allocation of the courses. So that's why
That means they are not full-time international
no,
faculty.
for 3 months.
Well, I think they are probably visiting faculty. Yeah. This is my opinion, but we could discuss this in detail.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Sir-
you, Dr. Ashwin Fernandez, sir.
Sir, there's, ma'am, if you can ask for...
Ma'am, you can ask in the later
All right,
session. Thank you
fine.
so much. Thank you, Dr. Ashwin Fernandez, sir, for your insightful and inspiring address. Your expertise and the strategies you shared have provided us with a clear roadmap to enhance our global standing. मैं आचार्य जयप्रकाश पांडे, माननीय कुलपति एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम प्राविधिक विश्वविद्यालय से अनुरोध करना चाहूँगी कि वे मंच पर पधारें और डॉक्टर अश्विन फर्नांडिस जी को शॉल भेंट कर उनका सम्मान करने की महती कृपा करें। बहुत बहुत आभार कुलपति महोदय। Thank you so much once again, Dr. Ashwin Fernandez, sir. कार्यक्रम की सफलता में भोजन की भूमिका अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण होती है। नित्य का प्रतीक है, बल्कि सबको एक साथ जोड़ने का माध्यम भी है। अतः मैं आप सबको सूचित करना चाहूँगी कि भोजन की व्यवस्था कुछ इस प्रकार से है। गेस्ट स्पीकर, डायरेक्टर्स एंड ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर के लिए ग्राउंड फ्लोर के वीवीआईपी रूम में भोजन की व्यवस्था की गई है, जो आपके स्थान से बाईं तरफ पड़ेगा, तथा सभी प्रतिभागियों के लिए भोजन की व्यवस्था अटल सभागार के प्रथम तल पर की गई है। आप सभी से निवेदन, कृपया भोजन के लिए प्रस्थान करें व 2:15 बजे आप अगले सत्र के लिए इसी स्थान पर हम सब पुनः एकत्रित होंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आभार। है तो नहीं तो तुम खा के आओ. अरे रहने दो. ये है, ये है. कर रहे थे उस टाइम. सुनिए, हम लोग शैलजा मैम, पंचाली मैम चले क्या? अनु मैम बोला सर. आइए आइए, लेट्स गो. मैम आप नहीं चलेंगे? नहीं क्यों? आ जाओ.
Check, check, hello, hello, check, hello, hello, check, check, hello, check, hello, 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 check, hello, 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 check, hello.
इसको स्पीच को कहाँ अपने साथ ही ले रहे हैं? मैम को दे दें?
Check, hello, hello, check, hello, check, 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 hello, hello. check. Hello, hello. Check. check, hello, hello, check, hello, 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 check, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, check, hello, hello, check, hello, hello. Check, hello, hello.